All right, guys. Hey, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. So, in today's video, we're going to be trying out another mask. I love a good mask. We love a good self-care moment. Even though self-care goes beyond skincare, but we're going to have a little chat. So today we're going to be doing some of the Lush Fresh Face Mask. And today I have the Oat Fix. So the Oat Fix is a hydrating but a soothing mask. So if you guys are interested to see how this mask wears, you're ever interested in trying out a Lush mask, well then guys, keep on watching. All right, guys, so you know the deal with every one of these videos I've done for masks now, I need my good old Dr. Jart Hydro Soothe Water Fuse eye gel. So, I'm going to just take it on there and slap her on. All right. So I got that on. And then before I put the oat mask on too, I'm going to just put a little more of my lip balm. This time, I've got the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask. And I already had some of the balm, like the solid form one. It's what I travel with throughout the day, but we're just going to put more on. You can never have too much hydration on the lips. Okay, so I got that on. Let's talk about this Oat Fix. So, Oat Fix, it is vegan. Okay, so if you are into that, this is good for you. It's vegan. It says that it is sensitive, dry, or irritated faces will love this yummy mask for its blend of soothing oats, softening mashed banana, and ground almonds to soften and sloth away dry, flaky skin with a rich blend of Alipi butter, sandalwood oil, and glycerin to lock moisture into your skin. It'll leave your face feeling soft and dewy. So we like that. So this mask is going to be for soothing and calming. And all of these products are handmade. This product was made by Miss Lori. So thank you, Lori, for making my mask today. And it is leave on for 15 minutes, then rinse off with warm water, massaging as you go. So also too, little fun note, I didn't know this, but thank you, Aang, who told me this at the Lush store. You actually, is it called Oaty Fix? Is this an I? Is this Oat Fix or Oaty Fix? So there's another letter after that. It's an I, so I think it's OT Fix. Hooked on Phonics worked for me. Sorry, I missed that completely. You keep this mask refrigerated, but I found out from Aang at the Lush store that you, if you do bring in 5 of these, you get they'll give you a mask for free if you bring in the container. So I'll definitely be saving this, but I actually haven't tried their raw mask ever. So we'll be trying that out and seeing how that works for me. So let's slap it on. And it's cold, so... Ooh. Now with this, because it's so gritty, I'm just going to use my fingers. My hands are washed. Normally I like to use tools, but you can't use tools for everything. So here we are. Just slapping some oatmeal on my face. Some Oaty Fix. And I struggle with sensitivity in my skin. It's not so crazy because I'm very good about taking care of it. And I'm very good about staying on top of my skincare. But, that is definitely one of my concerns, other than doing everything I do already for anti-aging. Hello. Trying to look timeless here, but we have that going on with my skincare routine. But I also do things for sensitivity and dryness and moisture, and it's okay, it's kind of falling off. We also love moisture. We got to keep the youth locked in. We got to preserve and protect what we got, you know what I'm saying? So we're not focused on repairing and restorative. That's a whole different stage. I ain't there yet. I'm not trying to get my first facelift until I'm at least 40, hopefully 50. But, I don't know what will happen once I have kids, that might be a struggle bus for me. Putting a little bit on my neck. Okay, it smells amazing. It smells like oatmeal cookie. It smells like pudding. All things that I like. Oatmeal cookie, yes. Oatmeal raisin, no. We don't know you, raisin. Don't come up in my cookies. So I don't know about that, but this smells great. Let me actually put this through my brow. You know, these brows need to be moisturized too. They need some conditioning. So we'll just put it on there. And I think I got it. I think I'm all set. So I gotta leave this on for 15 minutes, but it's refrigerated. So I'm gonna actually go put this back in the fridge and I'll be right back. All right, so I have gotta leave this mask on for 15 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna just go with the standard 15 minutes. Other mask, I will leave on longer. If I am like used to it and I know that like I can get away with it. But because it's a new product and I'm trying it out for the first time, we're gonna be good. We're gonna like actually like follow directions, you know. What's that like? I don't know, but we're gonna try it out. So I'm gonna follow directions and I'm gonna just leave it on for 15 minutes. I've got like all these little like oatmeal scrubby things. And it's not gritty. Like, yes, there is like a little bit of like of a exfoliating factor, but it's not grit, it's not hard, it feels very soft, pasty like, nothing abrasive, so very, very gentle. So just also know that, so if you're concerned about that. But let me put 15 minutes on the clock. All right, so I got 15 minutes on the clock. We're gonna let this sucker cook in the skin. But I wanted to talk about, while I'm letting this kind of sit on my skin, I wanted to talk about like hustle and hustle culture and, you know, this idea that we have about that it's always go, 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 go. And we need to like get it done and we need to do it and don't quit, don't stop. Like, I have some opinions about this hustle culture. I think that it is good to have a sense of ambition. I think it's important to feel like you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, and you want to achieve and you're hungry for something. That's good. That's wonderful. That shows initiative, that shows drive, that shows that you have the ability to pursue something and get something done. We love that. That's great, right? The problem, the situation that we find ourselves in is when you don't know how to turn it off, when you don't know how to dial it down or dial it back, when it is always go, 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 and it's always hustle, hustle, hustle. It's intensity versus consistency. So let me put it to you this way. If you know you want to lose some weight at the gym and you want to lose 30 pounds and you're like, I'm going to lose 30 pounds at the gym. You know that when you go to the gym, it's not that you go to the gym for 4 hours and you're there and you're just killing yourself and you're going to just drop 30 pounds. No, that's not how it works. You know that when you go to the gym and you want to lose 30 pounds, you know it's going to take a consistent effort for you to get to that goal. And it's going to take you having to work out a couple times a week. You got to also take into account diet. That plays a big fact. But you know it's going to take time for you to lose all that weight. So we know that about things like fitness and our physical health and like, you know, getting healthy. But we don't think about that in terms of ourselves and what we're trying to accomplish and do in our lives. And you know, when you are constantly on the grind and you're constantly living in a space of hustle, it becomes your default mode and you run yourself ragged. There's a lot of people that I've met at work, at school, that go and they live in that space. They don't know anything else other than going 100 miles per hour. But what I often see is that a lot of people go, but a lot of them don't think about the long-term goals that they have, because it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for you to just feel like you can just keep on driving till the wheels fall off. It's not. There's so many other things that occur in our lives that we need to think about and have. So, right, like there's your career and your professional life, in work, and there is, your family and your friends and the relationships you have, your support network, right? There's, your romantic life, and that, can tie in with other things. There is creativity and having a creative outlet, and whether that's dancing or poetry or, YouTube or whatever, you have a creative side to you. Everybody does. They should always have a creative outlet. Your spirituality, being able to feel like you are exploring a side of yourself that connects you with something larger than yourself. And for some people, they feel no connection with that. And, that also deserves to be explored. Not because I say it because I feel like you need to have a connection. I say it because regardless of whether or not you have a connection or you don't have a connection, it's definitely still something you would explore. And for those who are atheists, agnostic, for those who don't believe in something, there still are readers. They read about it. They read about atheism. They read about not believing in things. So there has to be some side, whether you're aspiritual or spiritual, that's a part of you as a person. And then your mental and emotional well-being, right? Like all of these things, and your physical health, right? Like all of these things, they tie together. And certain times in your life, certain areas are going to require you to go, and you have to hustle, and you have to move, you have to put some, you have to burn some fuel, and you got to get things done. But if you're in a place where either all of it's demanding that from you, or that you have allowed this one or two areas of your life to constantly dictate how you need to approach everything in your life, then that's not healthy, and you're not in a good space. I say this as someone who literally spent their entire young life like constantly grinding and hustling. It took me 7 years to get my bachelor's because my entire young adult life I've always had to sometimes 3 jobs, putting myself through school. There was a lot of things I had to do for myself, by myself, because nobody was helping me. I didn't get my car till I was 27, so I used to take public transit to get around. I was just constantly in a place of hustle and struggle and having to move and get things done. And it's very, very taxing on you, and you live in that space, and especially if you're moving at that pace because it comes from a need to survive. It's very, very hard because one thing I've liked to think about, and I tell people as a great way to illustrate like the importance of mental health, is let's say today you are struggling to have food in the house, right? And so you're struggling to have food, right? But a year from now, you are completely different. You're in a completely different space. Ugh. Sorry. A year from now, you're in a completely different space. Things are very, very different, and you have food, and you're not struggling anymore to provide sustenance for yourself. But yet you still find yourself hoarding food. You still find yourself constantly trying to always buy and buy things in bulk and scrimp every penny, and like be an extreme cheapskate and eating the cheapest things you can find, or find yourself going out of your way to go out and get things that are either cheap or free because of events or promotions or whatever you find, and you are still acting and living as if you're in that place where you didn't have food. And that's because when you go through something in life, just because you physically have moved through time and you have moved away from where you were in that place and time, whether that was a week, a month, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, you move past it in time. But just because you move past it in time and time has gone on, it doesn't mean that you have actually moved on from that situation, and your mental state could still be living there. Okay? Your mind and your mental health can still be in a place of where it was during a time of crisis or survival or hustle or trauma or so on and so forth. So, the hustle culture and mentality is not sustainable. You need to do what you need to do. I'm never going to tell somebody how to get their bag, what they need to do to survive. No, that's not my place. And I'll tell you right now, you're going to do what you need to do, how you need to do it. And you're going to make it happen. Trust and believe, baby. I could do it. Other people can do it. It's in you. And you're going to do what you need to do 100%. And I see that. I respect that. No problem, right? But if you don't have a plan in your mind as to what you need to do to get out of that place, to get out of that environment, to get away from everything that's keeping you living like that it's always touch and go, move. If you don't have a plan to get out of that, if you don't have a way to create something that's more consistent and better for you in your life, that's where the issue is. So I think that, this society that we live in, it tells you like, I get knocked down 20, I'm up 21, I get knocked down 20 times, but I'm up the 21st time or whatever, how many times, whatever. I don't know necessarily the metaphor, but, this society, it tells you, you get knocked down, you get back up again, you get knocked down, you get back up again. But to my point earlier, if you get knocked down 20 times, you have 20 bleeding wounds, are you going to still keep going on, or are you going to address and deal with that? You got to deal with that. You have to deal with that. So, think about that. Think about where am I? Why am I in this place? And taking that moment to reflect and think about it. And if it comes from a place because you're in a not healthy or the best safe conditions, do what you need to do to make it, but you have to have an escape plan. You have to have a way that you can create something that's lasting for yourself, because I definitely used to get wrapped up in self-identity and finding worth in my career, and allowing other people to sort of dictate to me letting other people and external influencers determine my value. No company is going to tell me what I'm worth. No job is going to be able to tell me what I'm worth. But yet I was living and constantly trying to just go. Meanwhile, I was like 20 to 25 pounds overweight. Meanwhile, I was doing very compulsive behaviors that were very unhealthy for me. I was binge eating. I was, my self-esteem was terrible. I hadn't worked out. I would have to go to the physical therapist and get adjusted, go to the chiropractor, get adjusted. I was in physical therapy. I was getting massages all the time. There were so many other parts of my life that were broken down. I wasn't doing anything about praying, meditating, reflection. I wasn't reading anything. I wasn't learning anything. It was just go. And all that mattered was the job, because I had allowed so many things to tell me and determine what my worth was. And that's not it. You can't live like that. You can't live like that. It's important to determine what you need and what matters most to you on the inside. And, once you can get out of a place of having to move and hustle out of necessity, do that and stop and create what you need to allow yourself to be in a safer, better place. And from one survivor to another trauma survivor, I can tell you right now that being able to really invest in other parts of your life that allow you to fill you up in all aspects and create a sense of balance and equilibrium, it's extremely powerful and it's extremely important. So, you know, this hustle culture of go, 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 and just constantly like feeling like everything needs to just be done all the time. And if it's not done this way at lightning speed, then, you know, that's not healthy for you and it's not sustainable. So I just want you guys to think about that when you think about how am I living my life, and am I living day to day? And is my life balanced? Is my life full of things that bring me joy in many different capacities? And, you know, as you start to learn that, also understand it's not going to be just a routine thing. It's not just going to be a routine thing. It's not just going to be a routine thing where I have to plan it and schedule it. And sure, it's good to help you build that habit of saying, I'm going to do yoga every single Saturday morning, and I'm going to make sure I wake up early so I could set time to like meditate and do that. Or I'm going to make sure I set time, whatever it may be. Also understand that it's going to change and flux, because you change and flux, and what you need changes day to day. And so allow yourself that freedom to say that I can be responsive to my own needs. However I need to show up for myself, I can do that. So I don't have to limit myself or confine myself and say, well, okay, well, I need to, you know, create a sense of wellness and balance in my life. So therefore I have to do this at this time of time. I get it. Maybe start off a little bit small, see how it goes. If you need to be a little consistent with schedule, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but just recognize that building a schedule and making that time for it's helpful. It builds the habit. And especially it's important if you find yourself that you're in a place where you can't necessarily not have the two jobs. You can't necessarily not be in a place where, well, it's kind of go for me right now. Like, I get it. And scheduling and making that time, it's great, it's important, but just also know that the routine and the schedule, it's not the end all be all. It's not black and white, and it's not life or death. So there are days where I wake up, and normally I like to go work out in the mornings at the gym. And there's some days that I wake up and I'm like, no, I don't want to go to the gym. I feel so, like, if I feel a certain type of strong way about it, I don't do it. And I'm starting to listen to that voice within and not ignoring it. And that's why that hustle culture can be dangerous and toxic, because our minds are so powerful. It can tell us to push past beyond our physical limits. And you don't ever want to be in a place where you have worn yourself out ragged. Don't do that. Don't run on empty. Don't allow that to happen to yourself. Don't allow yourself to be worn down. You know, and if you know that certain things cause you stress or certain things might cause you to be triggered, stop, think about it. There's an acronym that I learned in group therapy. It's called HALT, HALT, and the H can stand for hungry or horny. The A can stand for anxious or angry. The L can be lonely, and the T is tired. And if you're feeling any of those things before you're going into something, so if I know that being in a certain situation or place might trigger me or might upset me, I think about halting. I think about, like, let me stop and take a pause here and do a self-check and see where I am. Now, mind you, that could, whether or not you have something that, like, I'm a trauma survivor, so, you know, there's certain things that I know that, like, will trigger me. But for you, you know, and if that's not the case with you, obviously, you know, think about that when you think about how you're pushing yourself to go beyond something. Because when you run yourself on empty, you can cause yourself to have an anxiety attack, to have a stroke, to have a heart attack, to have a mental breakdown, to pass out. Like, you will cause yourself to just really stop, and your body will crash and everything will just, you don't want to listen to me. Your mind was giving the body signals. You don't want to listen to the body. Well, now the mind is like, I can't anymore. And it's like, that's it. Shut down. And you don't ever want to drive yourself to that point. So I say it from personal experience. as everything I say also comes from a place of personal experience, but I say it from personal experience, and I say it because I've seen and talked about it with other people who are going through certain things, and I've seen it with my group, I've seen it with my support group. So yeah, don't do it, don't allow it. Just remember that there's many ways for you to, just because something's happening to you or you're in a certain place in your life doesn't mean that there's not a way that you can create equilibrium, you can create balance. There's always a way, always. When there's a will, there's a way. And when it comes to yourself, that's what's most important. So my timer's up. I gotta go wash this off, but I'm gonna wash this, see how my skin feels. I'm super hungry for oatmeal pudding, banana pudding. So I'm gonna wash this off, and then I will give my final thoughts on this mask. All right, guys, I'm back. I'll wash the mask off, and I definitely gotta tell you, like, I have been having like a little bit of redness like here in my forehead, and it definitely, like, see, go figure, like, even when you have sensitive skin, like, you'll put on a mask that'll help with sensitivity. My skin felt a little like itchy, and so even though I have like a little bit of like red spots like here, and those usually like tends to be where like my rosacea sometimes will flare up. It's like right here, here, sometimes here, sometimes here, but like my skin feels really nice. So it feels hydrated. It doesn't feel tight. It feels very soft. Definitely doesn't feel irritated. So even though I still have a little bit of redness there, like, I feel like that'll just have to, that's just gonna go away on its own. It could, I also could have just scratched my own face, but okay. Overall, I like the way my skin feels. It feels definitely hydrated, softer, but what I like about it though is it feels soothed, right? Like, I don't feel any irritation or hotness or redness. I don't feel it, even though I do have a little spots here or there. No biggie, because I feel like my skin feels calm. So I really like that. I was actually real shocked because I ain't a real big fan of like raw stuff and on my face. I don't want to be like taking tree bark and, you know, no, I'm not, that's not me. But this really did it. Like, these masks, I'll be willing to try another mask down the road for sure. I might just try all the Lush masks. Well, maybe not all of them, but the ones that are right for my skin. But I really like that mask. That definitely was nice. So I'm gonna keep that in the fridge. We'll keep that around. Yeah, so I like that mask, and that gets an approval from me, baby. But you know, I hope you guys remember what I talked about with the hustle culture and taking care of yourself and intensity versus consistency, and creating things that are sustainable and lasting for yourself. Please, please, please take care of yourself. Please know that you have to really make time for yourself and to really, really focus on a sense of balance and wellness for your overall life. And being able to hustle is great when you need to, but it can't be your default. So just remember that, guys. Remember to stay truly beautiful. Be beautiful about the way you live, not the way you look. And thank you guys for tuning in, and I appreciate you. And videos are every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So remember, stay truly beautiful, my darlings, and I'll see you on the next video.